What is going on, guys? Give me just a second. All right. We'll give people a couple minutes to get in here, and then we will get started. Just had to post on the Twitter and in the Telegram really quick. And then, how much is needed to start with Zort? I don't think there's a minimum. I don't think there is a minimum, but I could look into that for you. The test, well, not really test because it's a live trading account, but the account I am like publicly tracking for you guys, I put $5,000 into. But yeah, I don't think there's a minimum. What's up, Mark? Did I watch the first game with Hansi? I was not able to watch it, but I'm excited to see the highlights. I saw that Timo and Leroy Sané scored, so good to see him win. Even though, I mean, it was just a friendly, wasn't it? Or no, it's the Group J game, right? Yeah, I gotta watch the highlights. I was having a busy day today. The market's been crazy, man. But yes, I'm very excited about Hansi as the new coach. Okay, let's see. What's up, Mike? What's up, Alpo? Spaceman, what's good, brother? What's up, Hector? What's up, everybody? Yanal, what's going on? What's up, Spaniardo? I'm still in the AVAX long. What's up, Cody? Cool. Okay. So we have a good amount of stuff to talk about today. Yeah, it was against. Okay, I thought it was a qualifier. So yeah, we'll talk about the Zort stuff. Just waiting for a few more people to get in here. Then I'll kind of go over the agenda for the stream, and then we'll go from there. It's good to be back. Good to be back and streaming consistently again. I missed you guys. I miss streaming regularly. I think I gotta get back in a good routine so people start tuning in again. Sol is going crazy. Just made a new all-time high. You know, we are very bullish and happy about Sol here in with Kicking It with Cause. What's up, Guts? Ape. We love the apes. We love Apex. Yeah, super bullish on AVAX and Apex. Shout out to Harambe. Okay, all right, guys. We gave people a couple minutes to get in here. Let's get started with the stream. So first thing I want to do is shout out to Zort, shout out to Bybit. They're the two sponsors for this stream. They are the reason that I can bring all this content to you guys for free. And while we're on the topic of Zort, here's a screenshot from my Coinbase account. This is an update to how the Zort account is doing. We started with $5,000. We're at $5,667. So that's what, like 12% in less than a month. And this is all spot trading. There's no leverage, nothing like that. Just in and out of spot. So doing really well. And right now it is in about 54% USD, 41% Bitcoin, and 4.7% Ethereum. I believe it was long Ethereum from like 3.2K with most of the account. And so it recently took profit on that. But overall, the Zort AI is performing incredibly well, especially given the fact that it is just spot. Doesn't use any leverage. The downside of Zort recently that I feel like I should briefly touch on is this chart. So obviously there has been some major selling. This is down quite a bit from where I personally bought in. I'm down like 50% on this, but still believe in the project and kind of wanted to talk about very briefly why this has been happening. But basically, the CTO of the company was stealing Zort and selling it. He's been fired, and they're filing embezzlement charges against him and suing him in federal court. So they are taking care of that, but the reason for this dump was because he was stealing coins and selling them and now spreading rumors about the company, blackmailing them, things like that. I personally will be buying some more Zort down here to average my entry to probably around 0.05. But yeah, I kind of just thought I should mention that because of how much it's been dumping. Still believe in the project though, and the AI, as you can see, is performing very well. Shout out to the Ape Gang in the chat. Apex sellers are in disbelief. We are up almost 1,000% off the low right now. So we like the ape money and we're bullish on the AVAX ecosystem. All right, guys. I'm going to talk about our trades from last week or from Tuesday, and then we're going to look at trades going forward, and then we'll do some Q&A. So if you're sending questions in the chat already, I might be missing some of them, but we will talk about those soon. And if I already missed one of your questions, then you can drop them when we do the Q&A part. Am I sponsored by Zort? Yes, I am a friend of Adam, the CEO in real life. I've been to his house. I've spent time with him. We've hung out, and I am betting on him and his company to succeed. So that's the connection with Zort. He could have just bought Solana early. We like Solana and we like Apex. Apex is the best. So this was one of the main trades that we talked about in the stream on Tuesday. It was this Ethereum long. Basically, the reason behind it was this, to me, was the most important resistance. A lot of people were saying that, or like drawing this whole zone as resistance. And what I said on stream was that, well, if that's your entire resistance, then it's like when that flips, you've kind of missed out on the bulk of the move already. And so because of that, I like to focus a little bit more on the recency. And in the more recent time, this level has been resistance. This 3,350, give or take. And so when we flipped that, we closed through. And also, really quick, one of the most common questions I get asked is, how do you know if something is a fake out or if it is like an actual break above and like flip of that level? And I either say like closes through the level, but what I like more is when we get an explosive move through the level and then like a rounded retest. And that is exactly what we got right here. So here we closed through, but it kind of consolidated around it for a little bit. And then right there, that candle right here was our explosive move. And I was like, okay, I think this resistance is broken. It consolidated for a bit, spiked up, got rejected, and we retested this level, which is right here, the resistance that capped price here, and now we were able to flip. So once we broke above here, reclaimed it, this candle held as support. I entered basically at the close of that candle, and we took profit at 37.50. I tweeted about my take profit on this one. Sorry, I keep zooming in and out so much. I tweeted about the take profit on this one. Haven't gotten back in yet, and yes, now it's a little above where I took profit, but that's okay. We're just consolidating a little bit, and you could probably draw some type of trend line here and say, all right, when this breaks out, you can get back in. But basically, we were at high time frame resistance. It hit my target. I wasn't going to try and get greedy and hold this trade all the way to fresh all-time highs. I believe we can look for new opportunities and get back in. And I'm trying to think. There was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, and I'm holding spot Ethereum, so it's like if this just kept going straight vertical from here, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I guess I'd be a little bummed. I closed this early, but I still have spot, and I followed my plan, and I feel like that's kind of the most important thing you can do. Going forward with Ethereum, you could probably draw some type of little range on here. If it breaks down below this SR level and then gets back above, that would be the next long opportunity that I would look for. And that is pretty much it for Ethereum. The other trade I talked about, I believe, was this AVAX one. As you guys know, I am very, very bullish on the AVAX ecosystem. I think it's very user-friendly. Everything works very smoothly, and it's cheap. A lot of other L1s are super clunky or super expensive, like Ethereum. So really like AVAX. Quick review of why we took this trade. As you can see here, looking at the weekly time frame, this level here, I'll do it like this so it's even more clear. This level is the most obvious SR level on the entire chart, in my opinion. We respected it on a closing basis. This entire run here, we couldn't close above, wick, and here we couldn't close above again. So I was like, okay, I know this level is very important. Zooming in a little bit, you can see how well this level was respected. We front ran it a little bit right here, but then when we came down again, we tapped that level of support, and now we are pushing back up. And we also, to make things even better, had this lower time frame range laid out. And then even more confluence was Monday's range. So we were talking about two scenarios. One of them is just buying here because it's sitting on support and giving your stop loss a little space below this level. That would be the more aggressive way of playing it. But then after breaking out, we wanted a retest of Monday's low. And if we zoom in, you can see it tagged Monday's low just about to the T. You probably would have had to front run it just a little bit, but overall, pretty happy with that and with how this is playing out overall. I haven't taken any profit yet. My first take profit is around the mid-range and Monday's high. Next take profit is the range high. After that, we have $60, and then it's just price discovery. Because once again, looking at the daily, here's our all-time high. We're just consolidating below it, and I think we're just accumulating before the next push up. So once this goes into price discovery mode, you definitely want to be on board. And some ways of getting more exposure to AVAX is looking at some coins on the AVAX ecosystem. So I know a lot of the Apex gang is in here right now. We're a big fan of the ape money. And if AVAX keeps going up, I think we will definitely see some major runs by Apex as well. So that's one trade I'm currently in. Trying to think. We didn't talk about a Bitcoin trade. We got Ethereum, AVAX, not FTM, Sol. We were looking for us. Oh yeah, I guess we can review this one. So we were looking at this one on a lower time frame. Basically, when we broke down below Monday's high, we wanted to get out of longs. Like that was my signal that we were either going to range or pull back a bit. And we kind of did a little bit of both, right? We pulled back and then ranged around here for a bit. The next long signal was to either long this level down here at Monday's low, or when we get back above Monday's high. It didn't interact super well with Monday's high. I personally did not enter this. I had exposure with quite a few other coins. And so I wasn't pushing myself to enter this unless it was like the perfect setup. And in this case, it wasn't. And sometimes it's just going to be that way. Like, once again, like I'm not mad. Sol is one of my favorite and most sizable spot holdings. So it's like I want Sol to go up always. The fact it didn't give a cleaner setup, we just miss out on the leverage aspect of things. Because you can see a few times we closed above Monday's high, but it never really like pushed through until this candle. And then after this candle, I was like, okay, if it pulls back a bit to like 117, then we look for our longs to go up. Instead, it just went straight up. And sometimes that's going to happen, right? So sometimes you're just going to have to buy in right after you see this candle and like chuck a stop loss below here or something like that and let it ride. Instead of waiting for that retest, getting a little tighter entry, but you don't know if you'll get the fill. So that kind of thing happens all the time in trading. We just need to move on. Let's see. Wrecked Proof, what's good, brother? Thanks for tuning in. All the people want to see us do a joint stream, so we still got to schedule that. FTT pulling back a bit, but I'm not too worried. The fact that we flipped this resistance is very bullish, and if it does come back there, I'm gonna look for leverage longs. Mostly just caught this with spot. As you guys know, like that's another one of my Sol and FTT are like my two biggest long-term spot holdings from the beginning of this year / the end of 2020. So I don't really feel as much FOMO to get into a leverage position because I do have the spot to fall back on. But this might look like a tough rejection. I'm not really too worried by it. Still definitely think this is bullish, and if it gets much further down, I think it could be a really good long opportunity. And remember, when a candle looks super bearish or super bullish, sometimes that's a sign that things are going to go in the other direction. Like if you remember, was it Bitcoin's? No, I think it was Ethereum's 3-month. Yeah, this is one of the most insane candles ever. Like normally this candle would just look super bearish and look like that's just a top signal and that we're about to come way back down. But sometimes candles can be deceiving. So just because this daily candle on FTT doesn't look very great, I'm not too worried. Also, where was that other? Maybe it was Sol. No. Wow. That weekly chart looks absurd. Okay. So we reviewed Ethereum, AVAX, Sol, FTT. I guess we'll talk about Bitcoin, kind of what I'm looking for here. I think this 48.8 to 49 is a really clean level. We have this hourly demand, we have Monday's high and also the weekly open, and then we have this weekly SR right there. And right now price is kind of just ping-ponging between these two support and resistance levels right here. So we're just going to try and trade the extreme on the lower end. So if Bitcoin does pull back a bit more, maybe we get a daily open dump or something like that, then I'm going to be looking to position long on Bitcoin right here. Does that make sense, everybody? Also, one thing that is super interesting, look at this. Like 2,700 votes, so like a decent amount of people voted in this. How much Bitcoin exposure do you have in your portfolio? The vast majority of people have less than 25%. So typically when we see things like that, Bitcoin tends to punish those and just pump, leave everyone on the sideline. I don't know if it's going to happen at like this time, but just something to be aware of. And that makes me like more inclined to try and get a good sized leverage long if like a really nice setup presents itself. So with that being said, the plan is basically look for one more stab down into here and then long it from there. Stop loss would probably be here, or you could just put it like at the low if you're entering here after the SR is flipped. I think that's, I'm almost out of breath. I feel like I ran through every single one of those charts just like very quickly. So I wasn't really expecting me to be this quick, but I guess now I can just go straight into some Q&A and check the chat because I haven't really read much. Thanks to the Apex gang for liking the video. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, shout out to Rexproof for turning $500 into $100K. That was pretty impressive. DOT? Oh yeah, I think we looked at DOT last stream. Never gave us that pullback that we were looking for. So at this point, you kind of just need to decide if you want to chase it. And if you do, go for it. I don't feel the need to chase and try and get more exposure. I'm pretty happy with my exposure right now. But I still would take this setup if it does pull back to the mid 27 level. Also, I selfishly want Ethereum just to pull back a little bit. I think this would be a killer long opportunity. We'll see though. SNX. Also, Q&A time can be like whatever you guys want. It could be a chart. It doesn't have to be. I think SNX will look really good if it breaks like this level, give or take. I'm drawing it with a rectangle because it's hard to like pinpoint the exact level, but you can see this general region was support here, also back there, and then it was support here. You can see how that daily candle closed above it and pumped a little. Let me zoom in just a little more so you guys can see that better. Then it broke down, held it as resistance, resistance once again, resistance here, resistance, resistance, and now it's looking to go up. If we flip that level, honestly, I might just buy some spot SNX and hold it to like 20 something. Which like for a spot bag, you know, it's over 100% to all-time high. You could probably target something like mid-low 20s pretty safely, something like that. Did anyone see the actual trading history? Yes, I did. I'm sure he could show it to you on FTX if you really don't believe him, but I'm pretty sure every single morning I woke up, he would send me a screenshot of the positions he was in. And yeah, I mean, I guess he could tweet a picture that no deposits were made, but it shows the FTX balance. Let me see. I don't really know anything about H-bar. Like a lot of coins that I've never ever traded, I'm probably not going to do a chart request of because I think, like, I don't know anything about them. Atom, we could look at Atom. I think Ethereum has been moving so much recently because of NFT hype. Man, this SR level was so clean on Atom. Previous resistance, an all-time high. Just held us perfectly from this dump. It's ripping now, so like it's a little it's tough to say. I mean, I wouldn't buy Atom right here. But if it consolidates for a bit, you could look for a range setup, or if it breaks that resistance. But I guess I just don't really have a super clear read on this PA, and it's up like 150%. So Brandon Lee says, I was casually interested in Zort's automated trading, and I recommended minimum entry for the platform for it to be worthwhile on a monthly basis. I mean, it's probably different for each person. I put 5,000 into it for the tracked account that I'm like trading with you guys. Well, I'm not trading it, I'm tracking it. And I mean, it's up 600 something bucks. So if that gives you an idea, then like maybe you can do around that. You could get away with less if you want. Any book you would recommend about price action? Honestly, I didn't really learn anything from reading a book. I know there are some good trading books for like psychology, but I never really learned TA from a book. I think like looking at charts, I mean, I'm sure there are some things you can learn from a book. That's just not the route I really took. If Bitcoin makes a great correction, Zortcoin is going to go down a lot more. I think if Bitcoin makes a great, I mean, I assume you mean like a big dump. If Bitcoin really dumps, like goes sub 40, I think everything's going to go down. So, what do you think of NFTs, and is it easy to get into? Yeah, it's super easy to get into. You just send Ethereum or Sol, like depending what NFTs you want to buy. Most of them are on Ethereum on OpenSea. Send that to your MetaMask. Go to OpenSea. I think it's OpenSea.io. And then that's it. Yeah, Brandon, here's the screenshot of the Zort account. So it's at 5.6 after under a month. I think we're at like 3.5 weeks, give or take. And then the current holdings. And like, I haven't really experienced a drawdown with this. Maybe it was down like $100 at one point, like 2%. But because it's just spot, like when it's bearish, it just sits in dollars and waits. And I'm pretty sure, well, I'm like fairly certain that it tethered at like 56 or 57, somewhere in here, and then didn't enter a trade until the 30s. So that's pretty impressive. I wish I did that with my main portfolio, but I was bullish here and then got stopped out, and then I took a hit. I took a hit right around here. I was able to make it back and a bit more trading the range. We traded the range really well on stream, but yeah, I didn't foresee this. Yeah, it's really nice for that time period. Especially, like if you do that with leverage, then it's like okay, it's not that crazy. But when you do that with just spot, like, that's pretty impressive to me. And also because it's just spot, it's not going to go through some of the drawdowns that those bots on Stacked have, where they're like down 30, 40, 50% because they use like 3-4x leverage, you know. What do you think about token like Solana, Cope, Step Ray? Very bullish on Sol, have been for a long time. Pretty bullish on Cope. I think people are going to buy it. And it kind of seems like it had its accumulation period down here. Now we're finally breaking out, and it's like this general region is holding as support. So I think that's solid. And then I'm bullish on Ray, but I think you kind of missed most of that for now. And now it's kind of in no man's land, so I wouldn't do anything with Ray. We talked about that one last stream. Am I here before the trading riot? Shout out. Bro, I literally feel like every single stream, someone's like, can you teach me supply and demand? And I'm just like, my friend wrote a great article on it, so just read that instead. Yeah, Zort uses a stop loss. I believe so. I mean, it has like an invalidation. I can't remember if it always puts the order in or just market exits when it's like invalidated. I don't know, man. It's an AI. I'm not smart enough to understand that. When it comes to bots, it's like, I can understand a few simple ones. If it's entering because of like a moving average, that makes sense. But when you get to AIs, that's over my head. I have heard of Hex. Pretty cool idea. I'm very bullish on Serum as well. I think someone asked about, EGLD. Let's look at that. Because I think this is another like full-on ecosystem or whatever. But now it kind of looks like I've missed a decent amount of it. Where's the article? You want the supply and demand one? I basically have it bookmarked because people ask for it so often. There you go. Open Signal group with Rexproof, please. Rexproof has a group, and I hang out in there sometimes. I don't post a ton of setups or anything like that, but I chill in his group. Okay, so EGLD, Elrond, I've heard interesting things about it. I haven't looked into it a ton myself, but I do think it is an interesting play from like a fundamental perspective. But need to look into it more. The chart looks pretty solid. I mean, it very clearly had its accumulation period here, and now it's just been trending, but the problem is, like, I'm kind of catching this late. This isn't one of the coins I was holding a ton of spot in or anything like that, so I'll probably look for some longs on it if we get a retest to around here. Maybe we come stop out everyone that had a stop loss here. Something like that. I don't really know. But Elrond is interesting. LTC, yeah, I can look at that. Yeah, Crypto Cred, he's the homie. He's got great beginner stuff. And if you're new to trading, I think that's a really good place to start. Hey, it's a shame we never got our Litecoin entry there. Am I right? Litecoin is really lagging behind, though. Tough to see from one of the OGs. Let's see. Let's try and pinpoint some key SR. I would say this level looks pretty good. So this level is kind of similar to these two levels on Ethereum. And honestly, I think the most ideal entry for, where is that thing? Oh, bars pattern. I think the most ideal entry for Litecoin is like if it did something like this. Copy. Is this going to work? Paste. Allow. There we go. So it might take some time, but on a smaller scale, if we do something like this and just consolidate between here, that's kind of what I would be looking for Litecoin to start pushing up. Yeah, Trading Riot as a whole is a really great resource. When things are less, or when things are bearish, I think Zort's going to be fine. It's just going to sit in US dollars. Like, it won't catch a ton of shorts, but think about what you're doing when you're shorting. Like, if you're holding spot and you're 1x short, then it's basically like you're just sitting in dollars. Yeah. When it's bearish, it'll just hold dollars. When it's bullish, it'll flip in and out of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, is AVAX still decent risk to reward? I'm not fully convinced that we go straight up from here. If Bitcoin does like an early day pullback tomorrow, then AVAX might come down here again and like take out this low and this low. If it does that, I'll probably add to my position and look for something like this with a stop loss at the low here, so like a tighter position. So if that happens, I would add to AVAX. I don't think it makes sense to just mark it in right here. DOGE breakout. Maybe. I mean, from a technical perspective, DOGE flipping this level is like a good sign. So, we'll see. It's funny to find all your like super old drawings on a chart. What's this? Oh, I drew that with a brush. So yeah, I mean, it's good to if it holds that resistance. We'll see though. Hi Cause, what to do if you understand the basics of PA trading running for a year now but been undercapitalized and understand the problem of it? I mean, I would say I was pretty undercapitalized when I first started undercapitalized, like not that much money, or undercapitalized like you haven't capitalized on the opportunity? If you're talking about money, it's just a long grind. Like when I first started trading, I didn't have much money either. I lost a lot of it. I was just a 19-year-old college kid paying for my own college, so that's where all my money was going. But just slowly learning and then building it up, and I've built that up to where I am today. I haven't made a single deposit. Like, I haven't bought crypto with US dollars since my first deposit that I lost like 80-90% of when I first started trading when I was 19. So don't give up. Just try to survive. And in the end, I think it'll pay off. Did I buy my mutant ape yet? No, I haven't. I'm still just waiting. So I'm using this little rarity resource, and I just keep refreshing it every now and then. And basically, I'm looking at all the top 2,000, like most rare or rarest out of like the 20,000. I mean, they haven't all been minted yet. But I keep doing that. There's a couple that I like, but I haven't pulled the trigger. We'll see. I mean, I will get one. It's just a matter of when, and I want to be able to like scoop up a good deal because I'm not buying a floor one. Like Mutant. Like right now, the floor price is 5.25 if I clear all these. Oh, and if I sort by low to high and add buy now, they're like 5 ETH, but I'm trying to get, like these ones are all M1, and so if you look at that, there's M1 and M2. M2 is more rare, and so I'm trying to get one of like the mid-tier ones, one of the ones that I think is a little more rare, because I think those will be better as like a longer term hold instead of just a quick flip. So which NFTs do I recommend for beginners and under $1,000? Honestly, I would recommend you follow guys like D's on Twitter, and then I think he has like a good list. How do I look at someone's lists? View lists. NFT. So D's has this NFT list with a bunch of like NFT people, and I think you should just like keep an eye on that, or keep an eye on what D's talks about, or CBS, Cold Blood Chill. He's really good with NFTs. I'm honestly like not an NFT expert, and I'm like not in a place to be giving people advice about them at this point. Maybe eventually, like if I get a bunch of experience and I'm making money with it. But right now, I'm kind of just like trying to buy a Mutant 8 for my profile picture because I think they look kind of cool. And I think the Mutant or Bored Ape Yacht Club, just like their community is super strong. So we'll see. But yeah, I can't really give recommendations. I just saw the question how to buy Apex, and I found this. Can't remember who linked it, but just like a super good, very, very detailed guide. Basically how to bridge like from ETH to AVAX and then how to buy stuff on AVAX. So I'll link that because AVAX is where the hype is right now. Let's see. How do I buy? Oh, yeah. Start a business. Oh, I don't know who you're talking to. Me? Twitter going to start letting people have their BTC and ETH addresses in their bio. They might. I don't know. I think a lot of people don't want to like dox their address though. Like I think a lot of people hold stuff on different addresses, so it's not like linked up to what people know. I don't know. I don't know what C98 is. When waiting on SR levels, how do you decide exactly when to enter a position? Well, it depends how you want to play it. Like, for instance, with AVAX, which is moving, when it was just sitting on this weekly support, I just marketed it in. So that's how I played that. And when I was playing this SR level on Ethereum, I waited for us to break above and then retest it, and that's when I bought in. So it kind of depends, case-by-case basis, I would say. But yeah, this is pretty exciting. And BTC pushing a little bit too, so that's good to see. AVAX target, we've kind of talked about those, but so these 3 X's and then price discovery mode. I don't really have very many NFTs, bro. Lucian. I have a bunch of ape only, which is like I don't have anything in this wallet. But I don't have any, or I have some ape only, which was like another ape NFT that actually came out before Bored Ape Yacht Club. But those never really took off, or haven't yet. So you're such a nice guy, Cause. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Of course. course, bro. I'm happy to help. I was able to learn a lot in my first 3 years of trading, and now my goal is to just help people make money too, because there's so much opportunity here, and I know how overwhelming it is when you start trading. So hope it's all helpful. This is good to see though. I wonder if Apex isn't going up yet. That's okay, it will. I wonder who sold. They're gonna regret it. But yeah, the AVAX I'm just bullish on the whole AVAX ecosystem. So, and you shouldn't really feel FOMO right now, because this just has so much more to do. If it comes up here and consolidates for a while, then you could look to enter again, but I'm targeting well over $60 big picture for AVAX. So you don't need to FOMO in right here, because who knows what's going to happen. It might just come up here and then come back down all the way back to my entry and then go up, and if you buy up here, then you're probably just going to puke it when it gets down closer. So I would just say be patient. There's a lot of upside still to be had, even if this breaks above $50 today. Because if it does that, then we just look for it to break above the mid-range and Monday's high, consolidate around there for a bit, and then you can play this section of the range. And we can look for more longs from 47 up to 54, and then you do the same thing here. You play this section of the range. And so when it breaks this, you look for longs from 53.9 or whatever, 54 to 60. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities to compound, plenty of opportunities to get long. So don't worry. Do I have an amount in my head before retiring from trading? I do, but you guys are going to think I'm kind of crazy if I say it. Kaz, I love you, man. Love you too, DS Bondo. Where do you see the Apex chart? On ChartX. I can copy and paste that here too. Range to range, baby. That's right. That's Trader SZ talks about that a lot, and I've learned quite a bit from him over my years of trading. So, still long on ETH? No, just holding spot for Ethereum. I closed this long already, but the Twitter LARPs will always tell you they're still in it. And then if they closed it up here, even if they took profit further down, they'll be like, oh, just bagged a 7-hour trade. So I guess I can kind of take this off. Sometimes trades that work out really well, I leave on my trading view for a while. But where am I from? It's kind of a complicated question. I grew up in West Africa and in Germany, but then I went to college in the United States and high school. So, my goal kind of with trading, I would say, is 9 figures, but mid. I don't know, a few hundred mil, I would call it good. Put it all in Bitcoin or Ethereum, 50-50 in both. I think it'd be cool to have 4-digit Bitcoin, over 1,000 Bitcoin. That'd be cool. Not there yet though. Still got work to do. But yeah, I would say hitting 9 figures is a very big goal of mine. So you have to bridge ETH into AVAX to buy the AVAX tokens? Yes. So you send ETH to your MetaMask here. Where's that? You install MetaMask. You add AVAX or the Avalanche C chain as one of your networks. and then you go to some website, forgot the name of it, bridge Ethereum to Avalanche, and then yeah, that's just how it goes. And then you connect your wallet to Trader Joe, and that's where you can just trade AVAX coins. So Trader Joe is basically the Uniswap of the Avalanche network. Am I expecting a pullback to 40? When people say expecting, like, I'm never really expecting anything. I mean, sometimes I am, but I try to not expect much. I try to just like plan for multiple scenarios. Like, this isn't an expectation. I'm not saying I think it's going to come back there, but if it does come back there, then I'll look to add to my long. When would I long FTT? Either in this gray or when it starts to like develop a range. Like right now it's just selling really hard, which is kind of crazy. Wasn't really expecting this. I mean, it's down like 15%. Man, I'm good at math. If it like develops a range, then I would like consider longing it again, or if it comes down to that gray area, I'd catch a knife there. I think you could do something like this. I mean, I know this stop loss looks wide, but I would consider that pretty safe. And I would target like $80. Something like that. Let's see. I don't know about Flare. What does Cause mean? It's kind of a nickname. Cause I got the feels for the rookie losses. Still trying to learn and come back. Thanks for the great content. No problem, man. Just stick with it and remember, survival is the name of the game. And so I would just say like capital preservation. Like, if you are going to learn one thing really well early on, just like spend a bunch of time and make sure your risk management is like picture perfect. Do I use order flow? No, not really. A few of my friends do though, and like in some group chats, like they'll talk about it, so I kind of like know some stuff about it, but I don't like have order flow up in one of my tabs or anything like that. Do I think Cope would be good for a spot play? I mean, if you believe in the project, I don't think it's a bad spot. It's a better spot than most. Like, it's shown some strength by bouncing off of the low, like a few 100%. Like this, it was getting ugly this whole time because it just looked like there was absolutely no buyers. Like, the bounces were just super small. And then, so for a really long time, it looked ugly. But then really good to see it bounce back from that. And as long as it stays above gray, I think you're good. If you want to hold spot, and from here, I would say you could target like $5-6, which would be like a nice spot gain. And I would cut it if it broke below that gray. Because like if it consolidates here and then just breaks down, like that would look kind of ugly. So one or both of your parents are diplomats? I was actually a missionary kid. I'm an MK, and my parents were doing medical work. My dad's a doctor, and my mom's a nurse. So they were both doing medical work, and I was born there. Do I diversify my wealth into like real estate and stuff? My wife and I own a house, but that's the only real estate I've bought. Like, I'm just in this weird spot where I think there's literally no better opportunity in investments than crypto. And I know I'm kind of like putting, like, the majority of my net worth is in crypto. And I'm putting a lot of eggs in that basket, but it's like, I feel like I'm at the time of my life and at the age in my life where I should take risks. And it's not like I'm just a degenerate with all of my crypto. Like, I'm pretty systematic and use pretty strict risk management, but Yeah. So I mean, I guess I haven't diversified a ton. Maybe after this bull run, I'll take some money out. But for now, like, I just don't think there are better opportunities than there are in crypto. Go for it, Brandon. And then also, if the Spaniardo is here or anyone else, I have a risk management tutorial on my YouTube. I mean, that's probably pretty easy to find, MZ. If you just click on my YouTube channel, I have a risk management video, because I do think that is one of the most important topics in trading. So I made a video about that. But yeah, go ahead and drop. I mean, any free resources you guys want to drop in the chat, I don't have a problem with it. What about FTM? I think FTM's interesting. I was long FTM yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. Yeah, it was the day before. Like on this pullback, I got long, and it actually, I mean, it worked out really well. And this is going to sound LARPy because I didn't post it before, but I took profit at 0.92 and haven't really touched it since then, because I just think it's kind of consolidating now. But if it breaks back above like this general region, then I think you can go for another long on it. And since it's right next to all-time highs, I mean, kind of above it, then you might be able to catch like a big move if this goes into price discovery. You might even want to wait till it gets back above that all-time high level. Actually, I think I did tweet about when I took profit on FTM. So the timestamp is right around here, but not that it matters that much. I don't really gain anything by lying to you guys. I don't sell anything. So how old am I? I just turned 24. Just turned 24 in August. Serum as a spot buy and targeting 12. Let's take a look. I am bullish on Serum in general. I think I don't know. I just have a little trouble with when they've ran up this much, like $2 in late July to almost 10. But I will say, if it breaks back above this, I don't know. I would kind of... You could play it with spot or leverage, but I think if it flips this resistance, I mean, because obviously it's kind of like coiling up into this level. So if it gets above this level, I think you could buy spot or long it. No problem, Gabriel. Hector says, I made so much money earlier this year and just about lost it all by trading recklessly. I think a lot of people made a crazy amount of money here, but because we were in up-only mode for so long, they forgot some risk management and then took really heavy losses here and then tried to revenge trade here and lost even more. So that's why capital preservation is so important. Before I long alts, do I consider BTC? So in general, I like to make sure that Bitcoin is in like an okay spot where like I'm allowed to trade altcoins, because sometimes I'll just avoid them altogether. But when Bitcoin's in a place where I'm willing to trade altcoins, it kind of just comes down to if the setup is nice. If the setup on the altcoin is nice, then I just go for it. Yeah, 1 to 3% per trade is a pretty good place to be, and definitely use a stop loss. Cause I'm 17 and studying the market. I'm currently working. How much money do you think I can start? I think you mean like how much money do I think you need to start? I think just start with whatever you have, whatever you're willing to lose. Like when you're early into trading, you're probably going to lose quite a bit, but that's part of the learning. It's the tuition, if you will. So I would say start with an amount you're willing to lose and then use that time to just learn. I do trade crypto in a bear market. I might take more time off this time though when things really go south, but basically, you know how you just like are mostly only hunting for longs right now? Do that but with shorts. When do I buy spot instead of longing? Well, sometimes when I'm buying spot, like I try and do it. Well, you can go either way. With alts, sometimes I like to buy spot because I don't have to pay funding. If it's like more of a swing trade, sometimes I try and buy spot instead of paying funding. The problem with the Serum one, it just looks a little messy to me. And I also try and buy spot when it's a little higher conviction. And I know I won't need to manage it as much. If I need to manage it more, it's kind of nice to have a leverage long, because I just think it's easier to easy to use all the order functions and things like that. But yeah, I would say most of the time, like I'm trying to buy spot when I think we've bottomed and then just hold it for the trend. But obviously I don't have unlimited money, and I was heavily invested in FTT, Sol, ETH, Bitcoin, and a few others. So it's like, although a bunch of these alts looked good and had some accumulation here and then flipped some early resistance levels, I couldn't buy them all. But as another example, like when we flipped this level right here on Serum, this would be a great opportunity to buy spot, because you're like, okay, it is 250% from all-time highs. This could definitely turn into a longer term hold, and you don't want to pay funding for like months. So let's go AVAX. I'm not going to TP right now. If we sweep this high right here, if we do something like this and then break below here, I'll probably take some profit off the table. But right now, it looks fine. Do I take any supplements, substances? Take some vitamins, but that's about it. And I don't really do any. I've never really done any drugs or anything like that. I have alcohol sometimes, but that's about it. How high do you think AVAX can go? Thoughts on Link? I don't know a ton about Link from a fundamental perspective, so I really don't even know much about the Arbitrum thing. But as far as AVAX, I think AVAX should go to triple digits at some point. Like AVAX is one of the coins I am comfortable holding spot of right here. Because, like, yes, this kind of goes against what I said earlier. Yes, this already ran up a ton. But AVAX is way more bullish from a fundamental perspective here than it was here. And we just held this very important weekly SR level. And I kind of just think once this flips all-time highs, it's just going to keep going. So this is like one of those high conviction from a fundamental and technical perspective. I get my high from making money. No, I've been staking FTT. So I did not sell anything here. I bought all my FTT in December and then kind of added up to it until we were at like $15. This chart doesn't even have it all. It's the USD one. I could have gotten in way earlier too. I mean, this was under like $5 for so long, but I really bought a lot of FTT around here and then also in the fours when it started to go up. And then like as I would make profit from trades, I would, like on FTX, it goes straight into USD. For a while, I was just like rolling that profit into FTT until around like 14, 15. And then I haven't really bought or sold any spots since then. So my average entry is probably around like 6 or 7. And I diamond handed it through this entire dump. I actually tried to unstake some, but they make you wait 14 days, and then I canceled it because I was like, I'm not going to do that. So honestly, the fact that I've been staking my FTT kind of helped me from like selling some wherever. Yeah, we talked about FTT a bit. I mean, basically, I'm willing to buy it in the gray, or if it just like consolidates and forms a bit of a base and then breaks out of it, then I would look for longs again. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad place to take some profit on AVAX. Do I journal my spot buys? I should. I don't journal them in the same way. Like I would say not really. Like with my leverage trades, I'm very systematic and detailed with how I journal. But with spot buys, I usually just like make a note of where I bought it at. And also I usually just remember, because I'm not just trading spot all the time. But I will take notes and write stuff down. But I won't like go through column by column in my journal. Altcoin Pepe, Ka's gonna make it. You're gonna make it too, man. What's my long-term target for FTT? I don't really want to sell any before triple digits. Yeah, exactly. The 2-week wait. I don't think it counts as collateral. I don't believe so. So, thoughts on XRP? I don't really have many. Actually, this looks pretty good. XRP on the daily looks like Ethereum on the hourly. Kinda. It's close. That's the first thing I thought of, though. I think spot, I mean, it does kind of look like it's breaking out. You can draw your little trend line. I mean, it doesn't fit perfectly, but you get the idea. Right above this nice SR level. I mean, and once again, I kind of like to use the rectangles because I can highlight a bigger area, because it's like this entire zone was support and resistance. But as soon as it flipped that, like XRP is high time frame bullish to me. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. I think you can be looking for intraday longs and playing swing longs, and I would target probably like 150. Well, I mean 160, something like that. How do I find moon targets? Sometimes it's with market cap, and then other times it's just like psychological numbers. You can use fib extensions. Sorry, I had the hiccups really quick there. Or maybe it was just one. When am I expanding the size of my stick house? My little hut, my teepee. It was funny. I was posting about that, like when Bitcoin was dumping back here, but then I went on that vacation to Hawaii, and then it's like posting about living in that little stick teepee hut, and then it's like a few days later, I just post the view on like in the backyard of this beach house in Maui, which is just very, very different vibe from. I mean, also I don't own that house. It's a friend of mine owns it, but lets me stay there. So I'm not trying to tell people on Twitter I own that. And I mean, I guess I don't really own the stick house because it's not in on my property. How do I journal my trades? We did a stream about that where I went through it detail by detail, so you can find that on my YouTube. Honestly, ApeX is like the only really small coin that I'm very, very into right now for multiple reasons. I mean, it's still only like 17 mil market cap. Like, this thing can 10x from here. And it wouldn't even be that crazy. And I may or may not have some connections with people who are working with the team. I'll leave it at that. But there's a lot of bullishness coming, I would say. I'm very bullish on it for a reason. I mean, and that doesn't mean like I have 100% conviction that this is going to 10x, but it's like I've got a pretty good feeling we're going to see some very nice returns from it over the next few months. Well, not necessarily on, but like friend of, you know. So yeah, they're doing some cool stuff. And like some of the stuff they're posting is just like genuinely bullish. Like what Jason, I don't know if you guys know Jason from Telegram. Doesn't follow me, but I have his notifications on, so I guess you could say there's a mutual respect. But I thought this was a really good point. Like Apex has just been doing all the right stuff from the beginning. They're putting a bunch of like money and assets into their treasury and diversifying into different assets like NFTs, and also the DAO. It's the first DAO on the AVAX ecosystem. So they're doing a lot of bullish stuff. I don't know someone directly a part of the team, but they may be close to them. No, don't sell your house for it. Like I'm confident in it, but I wouldn't put my entire net worth into it. Okay, we're gonna need to put user in timeout. Spaniardo, where are you? There we go. I need a admin. Report unwanted spam. Okay, they're gone. So yeah, don't go all into it. I'm definitely not all into it. I do hold a lot of it, and I'm not selling it. Yeah, just a kidney. But I mean, and it's just super volatile too, so that's why I wouldn't want my entire net worth in it. Like it's down 25% just like casually. And that's fine. You just like have to be okay with that with small caps like this. But it's like it could still pull back and then just go straight up from there. And it's like as long as you can stomach these 50%, possibly 50% drawdowns. Like I bought when my friend first told me about it. And I held through a 94% correction. So yeah, I wouldn't put my entire net worth into it. What's up, Cody? Cody's the man. He's the homie. We text. How much is a kidney on the black market? I missed the start. Yeah, so I talked about Zort a little bit. Basically, one of their employees was stealing funds and selling them. And that's why we've seen it drop like 50% to where it is now. So I would call that kind of a fluke. And I personally know the CEO of this company. I've spent time with him. I've hung out with him. He's a good dude. And this project is literally his baby. And he is a very, very wealthy person. Like, you guys know the goal I laid out for myself, or like you guys talked about if I have a goal, like a number where I would retire. He's at like 10 times that goal. And this project means like like I said, it's his baby. So Zort isn't just going to die. The AI is obviously super good. So yes, this looks ugly. But also, it was from a guy who stole funds and was just dumping them. They fired him. He's still like blackmailing the company kind of and spreading lies and rumors about it. They're suing him for defamation. They're taking him and filing charges for for theft, basically. And they have proof of everything because they have the transactions of the funds being sold and then being transferred to Coinbase and then transferred to his bank account. So he's basically screwed, and Adam, the CEO, is not someone who I would want to be my enemy. So that's the story with Zort, if you missed it earlier. And I know a lot of people on Twitter or whatever are going to be saying about how like Zort is screwed because it lost this like floor. And it's like, whatever. People like their narratives, but I will buy more. This Zort's not going away. The AI works really well. They've just run into a lot of unfortunate stuff here. There were a bunch of bots on KuCoin that were kind of screwing them too. Like just a bunch of crap that Adam's told me about that has just like really unfortunately gone wrong. And I feel like a couple months from now, Zort at 0.035 is going to be like, why didn't I buy more? So, yeah, I will. I haven't sold a single Zort. And I still believe in the project. But I just thought like I should address that because like people see me talking about Zort and then they look at the chart, they're going to like want to know what happened. So I felt like that needed to be addressed, and there are plans being put in place to turn this around. So that's all I will say about that. But when I talk to you guys about altcoins, to my loyal YouTube viewers, there's 120 of you guys in here. When I talk to you about altcoins, especially smaller ones, there's usually a very good reason behind why I'm bullish on it. So, and yeah, like I said, I know Adam in real life. I feel very comfortable betting on him to succeed. It's kind of like how me longing and staking a bunch of FTT and Sol was me betting on Sam to succeed. And I'm also betting on Adam to succeed. So, still bullish on Zort. The AI is kicking butt. The token got its butt kicked, but it won't stay like that forever. Apex isn't working on Trader Joe. You probably need to increase your slippage because it is a reflect token, which is kind of like the same tokenomics as SafeMoon. Like it's designed to kind of go up. Like with every single transaction, 4% of the transaction, like of the total amount of the transaction, whether it's a buy, a sell, or a transfer, is distributed to the people holding it. So whenever someone buys or sells or transferred, every single person that holds Apex gets 4% of it. Well, it's distributed between them. And then 5% goes into liquidity. So yeah, the slippage needs to be at like 10 or 11% because Trader Joe they don't take into account that it's a reflect token. So, I mean, people see like slippage at 11% and they think like, oh my gosh, is the liquidity that low? And it's like, no, the liquidity is actually pretty good, but Trader Joe doesn't take into account the tokenomics, like that it's a reflect token. So, all right, guys, I got to bounce. Great stream today, though. We got plans in place for Bitcoin. This is still valid. Ethereum, this is still valid. AVAX, probably take some profit soon. If it comes back down, I'm adding more. Sol, we're kind of just waiting and watching. FTT, I like longs if it forms a little bit of a base or if it comes down to the gray. And I think that's pretty much it. Those are the main ones we're watching right now. As always, I will post updates on Twitter if anything changes. I'm trying to post in the Telegram too, but it's kind of hard sometimes because I'm like lazy, I guess. I don't really know what it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Feel free to reach out. Have fun at golf after the stream. How do you know where I'm going? I'm just kidding. I might golf today. We'll see. It's kind of getting late. Maybe I'll golf tomorrow. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We'll talk soon. And as always, thanks to Bybit and Zort. And thanks to you guys for being loyal viewers. It was cool to be over 100 people again for like the whole stream today. On Tuesday it was like 80. I feel like I just need to get back into the swing of things so people know we're back to the normal schedule because COVID took me off my normal schedule. But I'm good. I'm healthy again. We're back. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again. Appreciate you. Peace.